Hey everyone, Ryan here at etrailer. Today we're going to be showing you how to install the Command Electronics hot dot clearance and side marker lights. So these are going to be available in this amber color here like we have on our trailer right now, as well as red. So depending on your situation, one might work better than the other. With the amber ones, you want them facing the front of your trailer or mounted on the side. With the red ones, you want them facing towards the back or mounted on the back of your trailer. These little lights in most cases will make a great replacement or even an upgrade in most cases for those of you getting away from the more traditional style incandescent bulbs. These are LED lights and they have 2 diodes in them. And as we all know now, with LEDs, they're just far superior than the incandescent bulbs, especially on a utility trailer or something along these lines that is bouncing around all over the place, getting beat up. Those incandescent filaments break and then you're dealing with putting new bulbs in and everything else. So, these work great for scenarios like that or even in addition. And that's what we did here today. It's actually my father's trailer and I brought it in just to kind of clean it up, get some things sorted. And he told me a few of his concerns or some of the things he wanted different. One of them being there's no lights over here on the side at all. And it'd be nice to have at least kind of a reference point to see when he's backing up, kind of about where the wheel is and stuff, So that's why we kind of set ours up a little bit different here, but I think it turned out really good. The diodes do put off a pretty good amount of light for there only being 2 of them. Probably one of the things that I should mention, these lights aren't submersible. So for those of you that have a boat trailer or something like that, I probably wouldn't run these. The good news is there's tons of other lights out there that are submersible, a lot of them specifically designed for marine applications. Technique makes some really nice ones, so check that type of thing out. But for the rest of you out there, more or less without a boat trailer or jet ski trailer or something like that, you'll be fine to use these. Probably one of my favorite parts about them is they're really low profile. I think they look really sleek and they're just super thin. Allows you to mount them up in these areas and not have to worry about bumping up into them or anything like that. Looking too bulky. With the light off, they look good. They feel pretty well built. The plastic feels pretty thick and should hold up for some time and get a lot more life out of them than the standard incandescent type bulbs. Now, with that said, with this type of stuff, a lot of people probably wondering, will it work with my application? And to help figure it out, do you happen to have an extra one of these on hand? Let's grab a couple measurements. From end to end, that's going to be about 2 3/4 of an inch. The width is 1 1/8 inches. And these things are super thin, very low profile. As far as the overall width of it, the thickest point, that's going to be about 1/2 inch. And then where you mount it, so your mounting holes there, from center to center, that's going to be 2 inches. Other than that, when it comes down to it, pretty nice setup, if you're looking for a low profile, small LED side marker clearance light, definitely one worth considering. As far as the installation goes, pretty straightforward, right? You got a couple of wires, power and ground, and secure the light to where you're gonna mount it up, and that's really all there is to it. So if you wanna hang around, feel free to. We'll go ahead and get started on this one now. To begin our installation, first you need to figure out where you want to mount the light. If you're just simply replacing one, pretty straightforward, right? You pull one out, pop this one in, and hook the wires up. We're actually adding this one to our trailer. We don't have any side marker lights, and one of the complaints my father has is trying to see at nighttime. I really don't want to mount this up to the fender here, just because I don't want screws and wires and everything being so close to the wheel. So I think I might do something like this, right there on this piece of angle. And so what I'm gonna do is get it where I want it. And I am gonna have to drill a hole large enough for that to pass through. I think that'll be about good. Let's make a little mark there. I'll come back with the small bit and work my way up to the final size. Make sure this fits here, which it does. That feels about perfect. The hole's just a little bit bigger than I need it to be. And in case you're in that same situation, the size of the drill bit that I used was 15/32. So about a 1/2 inch bit should do the trick. To attach this, I'm gonna use self-tapping screws, but being that this is pretty thick steel, I'm just gonna make a couple of marks with the small bit. That way I can pull the light away from the trailer and pre-drill those holes as well. For those of you replacing a light, you could wire it up to your existing wiring. Some adding this. I took a couple foot long piece of wire I had laying around and just tied it into our taillight circuit. Wires run right here, so pretty convenient. And what I'm gonna do here is run it up through our opening that we created. And I did paint this too, let it dry just to give us a new coating there. We can start to make our connections now, and this is how you're gonna do it, whether it be a butt connector, ring terminal, whatever you got. You just strip the end of the wire back, give it a twist. Might actually cut some more off, it's a little long. And especially with this type of work, I like to recommend using heat shrink type butt connectors because the ends seal up and help protect against corrosion a little bit better. But we'll crimp this down. And then our light, white is ground and this yellow is going to be the power. So we'll hook that up to our tail light. Circuit there. Get it crimped. And then this white wire, you know, you could run an additional ground and secure it wherever you want. I think what I'm going to do is just crimp a ring terminal on right to it. And then whenever I secure the light, you know, I'll do one of these deals. And that should provide a good ground, you know, once we get it installed. But feed that through. And with the heat shrink, seal up the ends, come back with a heat source and shrink them down. Since we're grounding this right here, I did clean this metal off to bare metal so we get a good ground when we do secure everything. And I'll start with that one first and just take a self-tapping screw. This opening here isn't very big, so preferably if you're setting it up like this, if you get the self-tapping screws that have the you know, Phillips head style openings in it, that'll let you get a driver actually all the way in there and tighten it down without messing up your light. So I'm gonna get this one started, get the top one started, and then come back and snug them all the way down. I like to test the lights kind of one at a time, make sure that they're all working as we go around our trailer. And so I hooked up to a test box, simulates a vehicle, you know, a tow vehicle. Can't always use your truck or SUV, whatever you got to check these, but keep in mind, if your vehicle happens to have any issues, it could mislead you into thinking it's something you did wrong on the trailer side. But with that in mind, we'll turn on our taillight signal, our running lights, and make sure we get power. We got power and we are in good shape. So if you're doing more lights, you know, continue around the trailer until you have them all done. But with that said, I think that'll about do it for our look at and our installation of the Command Electronics hot dot clearance and side marker LED lights.